We're now on Psalm 74. This is an actual difficult psalm to take just a verse out of it, and it's too long for me to. It's 23 compact verses for me to be able to summarize it in the few minutes that I've got. What he does say, and maybe this is the verse for us today, the day is dying, the night also is dying. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. And the light there, I presume, is for the space of the moon, the figurative language that he's using. Spiritually, he's saying God is there in the day and God is there in the night. It is a psalm that talks about how he's chosen them of old. He tells them how they treated his soul gently and how life has become difficult. And then he talks about how through the King of old, you've worked salvation in the midst of the earth. You've done marvelous things in the past. But he's also saying, we see not any signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there anyone among us that knoweth how long the things of God. So there is a sense in which he feels things are going wrong spiritually. The community is not hearing God's voice anymore. They're just going around their ordinary lives, doing ordinary things in ordinary ways without a sense of importance of God being in their life, of goodness and love and gentleness being part of who God is and being for them. The day is dying, the night also is dying. That's a cry of faith. Maybe it's the faith as small as a mustard seed. I can't convey it, but when I was copying out the Bible by hand, I would work into the early hours of the morning under a candlelight. We didn't have electricity, and most of the time we didn't have gas. We didn't have the coin to put in. So the candle would suffice. And over the gas meter, I would copy out the Bible. And somewhere around about 12 to 12:30, in time before my father came home, I would switch it off and go upstairs into the cold room and get inside a sheet. We only didn't have two sheets. I had one sheet that was above. Sometimes I would wrap it more or less round me, a thin sheet, and then on top a blanket and some coats, mainly coats. Sometimes when it was really cold, I used to put my feet round the place where you would normally put your arm, and I would warm myself that way. Funny way of wearing a coat, upside down and putting my feet in between the armpits. And was God with me in the darkness? You used to see the light of a double-decker bus that appeared once every hour. And when I saw the light come going slowly around the room, back to front, so to speak, because it was coming towards me, I wondered if my father was on that bus and whether we're going to have another night disturbed in more ways than one. Was God in the night? And then I look backwards over my life and I see that God was working in my life. He was shaping something. He was doing something. That it was taking time. Many years later, I would realize that when he created the heavens and the earth, he could have made it in a second. But at the very least, it took 6 days. And if those scholars are right to see them as periods of time, it took a lot longer than 6 days. The development of a life takes longer. I can remember Will Ainsley saying to me one day, and I was about 17 or 18 by then, he says that God needs all of 70 years to work on us, to prepare us for glory. Well, he was taken in his early 50s. He didn't need so long for God to work on him. It's taking God longer than me. I'm in my 80s. There The day is dying. The night that I go through that I don't like is also dying. Thou preparest the light and the sun. You can interpret this as being thou preparest the spiritual as well as the natural. But he is there, it's dying. The night is God's, the darkness is God's. The dreadful things, they're in the hands of God. And I think I'm speaking maybe to some people today who feel their lives are lives of night, not of the day. Night, not of the day. Well, this is a thought for you. If you feel you are in the night, remember this verse. And I'm going to tell you the verse. I don't often tell you the verse because I like you to find it for yourself. Verse 16 of 74, the day is dying, the night also is dying. Thou hast prepared the burst into the darkness with the light and the sun. The light and the sun will come in the darkest period of your life. The Lord bless you. Psalm 74.